Hello and welcome to the Listening Post's unboxing channel on YouTube. Today, it's with great pride I'm unboxing one of Yamaha's mid-priced but basic stereo amplifiers, the A-S701. This amplifier has a great sound. It's got a couple of digital inputs, so it's relatively flexible. It's really easy to use. But one of the reasons I'm unboxing this today is it's silver. In the age of so much black electronics or lack of colour options, Yamaha still produces a number of their products in silver, and the quality and build is excellent, and it looks really classy, it looks really good when it's out on display. And it's great to see that people are taking pride in their product and putting it out where it should be, really, in people's living rooms and living spaces, rather than tucking it in the shadows. Anyway, without further ado, let's have a look. This amplifier is mid-weight, I guess. It's not very heavy, certainly compared with many other things that I've unboxed, but it's got a great weight and feel to it. It's not light. The box itself is all that it needs to be as far as offering the protection in transit. It's got model information on all of the sides, and on one side, serial number and other basic stuff. The packaging is excellent, and we're about to have a look and see just how well they ensure that it's protected when it comes to us in our homes and retailers as well. This product is taped closed with factory sellotape, so opening it's very straightforward. Simple slice at the edge and then a nick. If it's nicked, it means that you can sort of tear the rest of it open without drawing the knife across the box and potentially damaging what's inside. Opening is easy, fold it open. Let's have a look at the product inside. There's a basic manual and warranty card inside. This is a simple enough to use amplifier, so the manual is certainly not going to be bulky. And it is simple enough, easy to use. The AA batteries, there's a set of those specifically for the remote. And the remote control is actually sellotaped into the polystyrene. So I'm just going to give that a little nick so I can take that out separately. The remote is very basic. It's all that it needs to be for this kind of thing. It's worth noting that it does come programmed with the IR codes for Yamaha's matched radio tuner and CD player. So there's a few extra buttons there to allow for some of those other Yamaha pieces should you have a stack of them. It's got a metallic feel, although it is a plastic remote control. The packaging is good and all that it needs. It's nice and deep, and there's obviously pieces both front and back to protect this product. Drilling down, if we can just lift that up so you can have a quick look. Drilling down, we've got the Yamaha Yamaha power cord. This is a IEC power cord. There's no earth, so it's just 2 pin. And taking this product out of the box is pretty straightforward. There's a little bit of sellotape that secured the power cord, which of course sort of stretches away, but you end up with an empty box and a great looking thing like this. So just removing that sellotape that was holding the power cord, we'll get rid of that. Leaves us with the product in its bubble paper. There's a couple of pieces of sellotape holding it in place, so I'll just nick those. Okay, and let's have a look at this product. Again, it's in silver, so I hope you get an opportunity to hang around and perhaps see some of the photographs of this product and some of the close-ups, so you see the build and look and feel of this. It's excellent to see a silver option at this price point, as it's often reserved for much more expensive pieces of electronics. Okay, so looking at this piece. Firstly, as we start over here, we've got its on and off. This is a physical switch. You can hear a big, good-sized click. No good. Beside it is an IR sensor for the remote control. Working along, you've got the 6¼ inch headphone output. This is stereo, and it actually doesn't sound bad. It's a bloody good little headphone out. Beside it is a speaker on and off switch. Now that allows you to turn the speakers off, select A, B or A and B. Be careful though if you're driving 2 pairs simultaneously. The amplifier, in fact any amplifier, is going to struggle doubling the load that it might have, but if you're conservative with the volume it'll sit there and play around all day quite happily. Along the front and centre you will see the style of the Yamaha amplifier, and again please hang around for the photographs where you'll see some excellent examples of the style and so on. This is a classic product. It's designed to look kind of retro, a little bit old, and you'll see both bass, treble, balance and loudness in these big dials. At a glance you can kind of see at any point if, whoops, it sounds a bit bassy, I wonder why. Well, you know why, you've bumped the button. Further along you've got the input selector, and this is a rotary encoder. There's a series of lights that light up in amber to let you know what input you are, and you can continue around and it will stop and then turn around and head the other way. It's got 3 line inputs, a dedicated optical digital input, coax CD tuner and a phono stage. We'll see more of that with both the back of this product and the photographs later on. You've got a CD amp direct button. Now that is a circuit that allows this selector to be bypassed with the press of a button. Beside it is the pure direct, and that actually bypasses these front loudness, balance, bass and treble controls. With both selected, the circuit is as pure and clean as it can possibly be. CD in, amplifier out. None of the extraneous things used, and reduces the signal path significantly. The volume control, which is the final button, is a traditional analog volume control. It has a stop point that you would expect with one of these volume controls, of course. It is motor driven, and it will go zzz and move around as you might require. Given the fact that it's an analog remote and volume, you get an excellent gauge easily of the volume that will actually be. These sound really good at low volumes, bloody good at good volumes as well, obviously if you've picked some good music to play with it, of course. The amplifier itself, as I said, is quite weighty. Obviously its power supply feeding its amplification stage, and as I lift this up you'll see it's not only got a great power supply in here, but excellent ventilation for the likes of the amplification stages on board. It's not very deep, but then I guess it's not very shallow either, it's kind of average. Having a look at its side obviously helps us gauge its depth, and then having a look at the rear we start to see its excellent feature set. Over on the boring side is simply the IEC power outlet, input I should say, at least anyway. Over here is a switch, and this helps to manage the impedance should you be using a couple of pairs. A simple selector allows you to select between 6 and 12 ohms or 4 and 8 on one side. You've got A and B speaker outlets, and the use of this is very, very straightforward as you would expect. It's got positive and negative for left and right, and then A and B. Beside it is a relatively unique feature, and one to look out for. If this amplifier is left alone, it will actually shut itself off into a standby mode. If you're constantly using it for background music or to keep you company in the day, you should select this auto standby setting to off, and then it will ignore and not time out and turn itself off. Beside it is a subwoofer output. This is for a mono sub. It allows the introduction of a little bit more bass and weight if you want to with an active subwoofer. Above it are some of the key features. It's got 5 volt DC. Now this is via USB, and this is not a USB input for the amplifier to select, but it's designed to allow for rear 5 volts to be available for any number of different devices. Some people use it to charge their phone, but the vast majority of people would use it for something like a Bluetooth add-on or something like that. The YBA11 is great value, and it's a little puck that would go directly into the coaxial digital input and be powered from the rear USB. As I mentioned, over the side, coaxial digital input, and beside it an optical digital. And again, these are selected from the front rotary encoder and off the remote control. This is the powerhouse though. This is the reason you'd buy this amplifier. It's classic analog inputs. It's got one marked tuner and 1, 2 and other things. I mean, realistically you could ignore the labels themselves. The big one is the phono input, which is bloody good. For the price of this product, it's an excellent little feature, and a really nice dedicated phono stage. Below it the CD. It's important obviously if you're using those front buttons. Make sure that that CD direct button is only utilised for this input. Again, there's inputs and outputs there, including a couple of line outs as well. So there we go. This excellent amplifier, very, very well built. Please hang around for some of the photographs. We've got this brilliant product, the Yamaha A-S701 integrated amplifier, unboxed here at the Listening Post, Christchurch, New Zealand. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, subscribe to our channel.